Hello everyone, we are live. You are live with a White Walker and Red Owl. Say hello,
The
Al.
famous long time listener, first time caller.
That is true. I think you were one of our very first Patreons, believe it or not.
Yeah, many moons ago.
Long time ago. And today we have Ladyeliz playing Lannister the Free Folk against Steve Pertain playing Tyrell Banner of the Sun. So, I understand this is a high pressure tie for Steve because Lannister have already won 5 games, right? So if they lose this, they lose the tie.
Uh, that's a good quick. We just lost the previous game earlier tonight.
Oh, really? So
Uh,
that mean
so I'm
Lannister
not
are through or out?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. We were on the precipice of winning. I don't know if we've actually sealed it or not. I think we may still be not quite there yet.
Yeah, I think it's 5-2. So, right, let's have a look at these steps. I'm going to just make my screen a bit easier for the viewers at home. Okay. So, Ladyeliz, you're on Team Lannister, aren't you? Yeah.
My loyalties are divided here. My longtime meta mate, Steve, and my teammate in 8 Regions.
Mm. But Steve is a
Uh,
scumbag, so it should be a fairly easy alliance for Liz here, right?
Free Folk's always a gamble. It's a bit of a glass cannon, still.
Yeah, it can be. Setup was alright. Kings Road, Varamir, Wildling
Pretty good.
Scout, not bad. Steve set up Card and Shadows, Arbor Marketplace, and Desert Raider. That doesn't seem like the
Yeah.
best setup, to be honest.
No, not ideal. Um,
You'd expect more from a Tyrell. You'd expect at least the Arbor, which they have every time, right?
Usually the Arbor Red Wine Straits is pretty reliable for them, it seems. So not seeing them always makes it more difficult.
Hmm.
Oh, there we go. Big Jon Snow.
Yeah, and we had Tithe used to nil the Wildling Scout, which means she's still got plenty of gold to go. Right, what?
That is a
Their,
strong start.
their reserves are equal, so there'll be no non-kneeling crow killers. But, heavy military presence here with potential 3 claim. But Steve does have a Desert Raider, which mitigates that somewhat. And now a duped Mina. And Jon Snow's not allowed to attack.
Oof. Okay.
This is what you mean about it being a little bit fragile.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good opening turn from Steve. He's managed to get a fair bit on the board.
I mean, he's still going to suffer a 3 claim military, I imagine. Because Varamir can stealth the Desert Raider. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess
I mean,
Steve the Septum will trigger to give Steve 2 gold and a card. So maybe he has a 3 gold high tower spy or something that can come in later. I don't know.
yeah, these Tyrell Sun decks tend to be a lot of jumpers, a lot of spies, a lot of got something in shadows so that
I think the word you're
could
looking
be
for is bullshit.
yeah, I mean that is how these decks tend to work.
Yeah, I don't particularly like facing these decks online. I don't really play online much anymore. I always seem to get the Martell Knights or the Hollow Hill deck, and I'm like, why did I do this to myself?
Yeah, we all know it. It's been there quite a lot recently.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh yeah, this mill challenge, it's gotta be tempting, but putting the Desert Raider in the dead pile first thing doesn't seem like
I don't know.
necessarily the best move
I
straight
think
away.
I think you do it just to put the pressure on because you have to lose the challenge to get the Desert Raider back in. Oh, here we go. We have a Wall of Roses. So we can look at the hand. There is a High Tower Spy, so Steve the Septon can do some work. There was an Orton, Nightmares. There was some useful tech in there. But most importantly for Steve, no 3-claim military.
Yes. Well, that is definitely an unexpected card to see in this deck. For sure.
But part of me wondered that Steve saw the free folk on setup and, decided early that he was going to put the Wall of Roses into shadow because the first turn multi-claim military was going to be a problem. But maybe I'm assigning too much cleverness to him. I don't know. You know him better than I do.
He does like to think outside the box when it comes to a lot of decks. I'm not surprised that he's gone for what looks like the red wine package and stand and remove tech.
Yeah, he loved Martell as well, so the Banner Sun, probably no surprise.
Yeah, no.
I was on Elise's team last year, Team Stark, and I was, I'm impressed by the way she conducts herself. Very good team player, really adaptable, likes to hear opinions from others. So I expect she's had some good feedback on the deck and how to play, and I'm not sure how familiar she is with the free folk, but I'm sure she will know her outs. She's a great player.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm looking forward to this and seeing how it develops. I wonder what the free folk attachment control is. Probably Shirt Raider, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't see an abundance of military icons in Steve's hand.
Yeah. Tends to be at least 2 or 3 copies, I think, in most decks.
So all in all, an actually quite uneventful first round.
Yeah.
Steve didn't do any challenges. No challenges were won on offense. So no free folk trigger. Curious.
Yeah, quite strange.
So I guess this is where the game begins.
So
I've no idea what plots to predict, to be honest. I don't know if Elise is going for lots of 2 claims.
Yeah, it's always a question, does the free folk player keep the usually there'll be at least 2 or 3 2-claim plots in there, but do they spend them all at the start to keep the pressure on, or try something else?
Yeah, I always think, is it worth just playing normal plots, normal 1 claim with 1 2-claim plot, playing in a normal way and just having an agenda that sometimes gives you extra claim in the challenge you want? Because 1-claim plots are generally better in terms of their effect than the 2-claim plots.
That's very true. Yeah.
Like March to the Wall, that does make sense given the character advantage. And getting Desert Raider in the bin, in the discard pile, has to be the aim.
It's hard. What's he chosen? Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It's a hard choice, I think, sacrificing your income and draw. Because I don't think we saw any other income and draw in Steve's hand earlier. There was a couple of informants, Hightower Spy, Orton.
I missed that. I wasn't paying attention to the reveal hand. What did we have? We had an informant, a spy, Behold Our Bounty, another informant, Orton, and Nightmares. So
Steve had potential for claim raise.
Lots of spies, as predicted.
Okay, we've seen here that Steve has used Autumn Merriweather to recur Wall of Roses from the discard pile and then immediately marshal the card into shadows, which I'm guessing is the Wall of Roses.
Yeah, Wall of Roses.
Now, Elise's Double Duke John, which would be formidable if he had a power icon. A noble lineage, perhaps, would be excellent on John as a 6-strength tricon that can defend and restand on defense with renown.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal that he can't attack, but usually these Orton spy-focused decks love to push multi-claim intrigue challenges at you,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
that's going to be very, very difficult while he can defend and stand and get renown.
You know, the wildlings are actually quite a cunning bunch, aren't they? There's lots of intrigue icons. Darla. I love Darla. I've just put it out there. I love Darla. I mean, drawing cards is just great, right? Especially when it encourages you to bring cards in different phases to draw more cards.
Yeah, yeah. She's great. It's just unfortunately, the economy on most wildling decks is tight that it's very difficult to get more than a card or two out of a round.
It was easier before Fleabottom got redesigned because you could
Yeah.
wildling scout, jump them in the challenges, and get your marshalling phase trigger.
Yep. That's made a huge difference.
So 2 around is probably acceptable. Steve does no challenges again. He definitely just building, trying to survive.
Yeah.
Just seeing the first 2 rounds out. The intrigue coming in first. So, I mean, if Elise does a 2-claim military, or rather a 1-claim military with the potential of it being 2, do you even play a Wall of Roses to stop it? Do you kill the Desert Raider and take a Mina dupe, or do you always keep the Mina dupe around in case the free folk play Valar Morghulis?
That is the question. You wouldn't normally expect a Valor M from Free Folk, but you never know.
I mean, Elise is pretty old school, so I suspect that she might be a Morghulis player. Double duping John kind of feels to me like she's not playing Daenerys. Otherwise, you could let John go away and play another copy, perhaps. But double duping feels a little bit like Morghulis. I could be wrong. I'm often wrong. Don't mind being wrong. So Steve decided to win this intrigue on defence. Really likes his hand, it seems.
Yeah, I can see that. I'd rather say presumably the Wall of Roses for this military challenge.
Yeah. Then we can see his hand again.
No.
So he does take that risk.
Presumably it's got to be the dupe and the Desert Raider. Yeah.
So now we have an interesting game. If Elise is on Morghulis. I'll just reiterate here, Lannister win this, then Lannister have won 6 games and they take the tie.
Okay. Interesting.
You know Steve then, so what's he like? Is he likely to feel the pressure? Or is he someone who's ice cold, won't think about the pressure, just plays like a machine?
He's generally cool as a cucumber.
Really? Interesting. So he's not going to be feeling this pressure. He's going to be really cool, calm and collected. Okay, Heads on Spite and Valar D.
Okay, so it would seem like Steve was expecting perhaps a reset of some sorts. Was hoping to get out of it.
So it might have been, given Steve's lack of military icons, it might have been better for Elite only to dupe John once and keep the other one in hand. Because I think if I'm playing the free folk, I'd be tempted to keep Varamir and Darla.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
Mainly because we haven't really seen much military threat from Tyrell Sun at this point. The only military icon we've seen is the Desert Raider.
Yeah. The reserve was pretty low, so maybe we're just getting cards out of her hand.
Hmm.
With no options to jump anything in, perhaps. So, did the heads on spikes hit anything?
Not yet.
Hasn't been resolved.
So waiting for Pala D. So at least goes the other way and chooses Jon Snow and the Crow Killers. So the Crow Killers are not active. So this really feels like it's running Morghulis now.
Yeah. Tend to think that. Another dupe for Mina. That's very handy.
Mina's such a good source to draw.
No wonder he was so quick to claim the dupe last round.
Yeah. Yeah, I recall when Mina came out, some people were underwhelmed. But I think she's really so strong. I do like it. Like even just anything going in the discard pile to trigger from reserve events.
Yep.
So good. So good. Val duped. Looks like Val Morghulis is back on the menu.
Yeah, you are, I think, definitely on the money there, Richard.
Normally when I play, that's the first thing I try and figure out what reset they're likely to be running. Because you need to make a lot of decisions about that. Whether to claim dupes or not. Whether dupes are going to be important if you want to overpopulate the board. Didn't you just wreck me like that yesterday in playtesting? I think I overcommitted and then you just Morghulis and won. Might have been someone else, might have been you.
That is so often how the game goes. I think Steve's really caught in a tough position being forced to go first against this board.
Steve's learnt how to initiate a challenge. Who said men can't evolve?
He is exploiting the one weakness
Yes.
across the board from him.
Yeah, he does need to start reducing the power deficit.
So I expect we'll see the Behold get played and a Spy jump in, probably a Formant to do another power challenge.
So I'm not actually familiar with Behold Our Bounty. I know it's a 2-claimer. So do you have to have a Spy in play and then bring it back to hand?
A Spy or a Small Council character.
Oh, okay.
So they're in the challenge. You raise the claim, bring one of them back to hand.
Gotcha.
And of course, if you did that with Orton, then you trigger his interrupt and put in a Spy.
So
mid-challenge, we've had the Scheming Septum triggered to bring in an Old Town Informer. Haven't seen them in a while. They used to be a staple of Tyrell decks.
So Old Town Informer can be brought back to hand for Behold the Bounty trigger at some point in the game too.
Yep.
Haven't seen Jackie in ages. Yeah.
Oh, that takes me back. Hadn't heard that reference for a long time.
Jackie?
Never met this Jackie that you and Rebecca used to speak of.
Oh yeah, she used to play Thrones once upon a time. Looks just like her as well. Like, every time I see it, I'm astounded. It is Jackie.
Okay, so we had the gold from the Scheming Septum used to just outright pay for the informant, it looks like.
Yeah, for an additional power challenge, which again can be won. Challenge for 2. So Val could defend it, but that would reduce her attacking power. So if you played Behold Our Bounty and brought back the Informant to hand, you still get 2 claim. That doesn't count it fizzling because you've already won the challenge, right? It's a reaction to the challenge that you've won.
It's a reaction to winning the challenge.
Yeah, so you could bring the same character back and it wouldn't affect anything because you've already won it.
That's right.
Gotcha.
But the chances of having another Beholder bounty.
Probably slim. He's only gone through a third of his deck.
Okay.
Nightmares on Val, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're elite, you probably want to get through the military challenge and chew that dupe off Mina and try and get 2 claim, but that probably is a wall of shadows in a wall of roses in the shadows.
Yeah.
To deter that military.
At this point, I might be, if I were elite, I'd be quite happy to get my military intrigue Wall of Rose if I could push a power and trigger the agenda.
I think at least can only do 2 challenges. The Crow Killers are going to kneel.
Okay, so he's going in with the power first. Seeing what Steve does.
As I recall, I think Rogue Wildling, they're the best targets, I think.
Yeah, with Val, yeah. Bring her in, bring them in, stand her, go again.
Yeah. Shame there's no dollar on the board.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve opposes. So, you know, of course, I've just completely forgot she'd been nightmares.
So, will we see the agenda triggered?
Yeah, I'd suspect not, because I think you want to put if you're released, you want to put the pressure on the military challenge, force Steve to use that event. But unfortunately, Steve brought Autumn Merryweather back to hand, so the event is going to get recurred again. Or not. Okay. I didn't see that coming. I was sure we were going to see a wall of roses on this military challenge. What do I know?
Yes, Steve must prefer his hand over his board.
I mean, you can't. At least can't hurt his hand.
Oh, the desert raiden. Okay, I guess that takes one.
Just took the dupe off Mina.
That's a risk.
So if Elise is running Morgulis, it might be a nice time to play it. Simply because you don't have a lot of gold. You're going to get 3 gold and Ocean Road, but you're going to have Valve to cheat in a character.
Yeah. And both your bombs are duped.
And you kill Mina. And Steve doesn't have a lot of location economy. So it might be tempting if...
Selected his plot very, very quickly. So...
No, Steve has changed his mind. He's overthinking it. Alright, the Long Winter into Grand Melee.
Surprises all around. Oh, actually, in this style of deck, Grand Melee is not too surprising. Offers a lot of challenge control. You boot someone out of a challenge and it fizzles very easily. Long Winter, so piling on more pressure.
Well, the thing for Elise is it's actually good, not too bad for her, I should say, because you've got Val, who will bring someone in, and there'll be 2 people attacking. Crow Killers are not going to kneel, so they can always be participating as well. So it could have been a lot worse.
Okay.
And there's a 3 claim threat.
Both players struggling for economy.
Yeah, I guess they are actually. No at the gate scene in this game. Okay, egret. So that's it. I mean, you've got two schools of thought here. Either Elise is potentially worried that another nightmare is going to hit Val, or Elise has something even bigger to cheat out with Val. What's your money on?
Well, you would never cheat in
Well,
Egret
bigger
with
no.
Val.
But you're
Because
going
you
to
give
have
it
at least another 4 coster. Otherwise, you cheat Egret out because that's the best value you get, right? So maybe there is a rogue wildling in hand.
I wondered if she might hold on to 2 gold for an event, but no, appears not. So maybe that Valor isn't as close as we thought.
Well, we've already established that Elise is running Tithe, and it's an anytime action. So that
True.
that wildling bandit could get nailed any time for some gold. Some sneaky put to the sword action or whatever.
Well, speaking of economy, there's the Arbor.
Wow, tempo hit. But
Alright,
that Wall of Roses.
It's banking it all on the Wall of Roses.
It's just going to soak the intrigue and power claim, do you think?
I guess. I guess there's a slim chance he could be playing Tibwood, bank someone back to hand for a bit of cash and play something.
True. I mean, as it stands,
But
at least can do all 3 challenges because Crow Killers won't kneel. So you could do a military with, for example, the Bandit and the Crow Killers, an intrigue with Egret and the Crow Killers, and then a power with Val and whatever Val jumps in.
Yep.
So Steve's going to have to use his tricks, and if he's only got 1, the Wall of Roses, then he's going to be suffering 2 claim in a couple of challenges, 3 claim in 1. I don't know about you, Al, but I hate playing against the free folk. It's just... it feels mindless.
it's not certainly nowhere near as bad as pre-redesign, that's for sure.
Yeah. You know what? I swear to God, in playtesting, no one playtested it and everyone assumed it was just, different than what it actually is or was. Rather than doing 2 claim twice. I think everyone just thought it would add 1 claim. We've got a rogue wildling to stand Val. That's all the economy you need, right?
And Wall of Roses is when the challenge is first initiated, so not using it this challenge.
Yeah, we passed that.
That opportunity. There still could potentially be, with men on the board, there could be an offer of a peach.
Oh no, plays it. So we've got a Diplomat, a Septon, Merryweather, Hightower, Buy, Marketplace, and Behold Our Bounty.
Okay. So it's prioritizing the power over everything else.
No gold, no way that I can see to stop 3 claim military.
Makes me wonder if Steve might be playing a Valor or some sort of reset himself, in addition to the Harris.
Yeah, even so, I don't think it works that well.
He's giving up the board and taking a 2 claim intrigue. But he's got a lot of economy, so...
Yeah, he can to be able to repopulate unless there's a 3 claim intrigue on his hand. But I think almost certainly we're going to see a 3 claim military. I think Steve must be playing 3D chess with us because I don't understand why you'd Wall of Roses the power challenge and not the military here. But then I guess the idea of 3 claim power, put Steve on 1 and Elise on 9.
Yeah.
So maybe it's me just being dumb.
I mean, it's all bad choices, it looks like in this case, so... Alright, so yeah, free folk on the
Oh,
mountain.
we always forget this bloody raider.
Bloody Desert Raider.
Fucking hell. I am bad at this game. I swear to God. Everybody who watches this video will be shouting out, "There's a Desert Raider in the dead pile." You can see it right there. And we're just ignoring it.
Oh, and Jackie getting a card, so maybe something was gotten.
I never realised how annoying Jackie is, but she slows the game down worse than Asher Greyjoy. So no surprise to see which 3 characters are going to die. Gives Elise another power from the Desert Raider though. But got to do what you got to do to stay in the game.
Okay, so the intrigue icon stripped from Val, which means unless
can't be
there's some
done.
trick, can't push it.
That worked out nicely.
Steve definitely got away with that.
I'm sure he saw that coming. He was always going to limit to 2 challenges, I guess. The fact that he'd eaten the military challenge is a bit of a concern. I don't think I've often seen Tyrell Sun running too many resets.
I do wonder if he's gone something extra spicy and maybe playing something like Jewel.
That would be fun.
The curve on that he's got. Looks like it's mostly Orton and Mina and Spires and such.
Yeah, because I can't see Steve running many 6 or 7 Costas. Steve selected a plot and changed his mind again. Another grand melee into a sneak attack. Now this is one time a Wall of Roses would be great. Could you just shut down your opponent completely?
Yeah.
And I guess he's had time to draw a second one now.
Well, even if he hasn't, Orton's just going to pop out again and get it back to hand.
That is true. And that's going to happen. Now that you mention it. I'm glad you're much more familiar with the spy card than I am.
So Steve, despite the power imbalance, is actually in a pretty solid position here. Card full of hands, Desert Raider in the dead pile that we must keep remembering. Orton's going to recur that event. And there's just one challenge.
Yeah. I feel like the sneak attack backfires more than it. You know, it was great in the Corset days when there wasn't that many plots to choose from. Super high initiative, 2 claim, really put the pressure on.
Yeah.
Nowadays though, not so great.
Unless Elise is playing 3D chess and brings out a nefarious acolyte to blank her own sneak attack.
That would be impressive. I would stand up and applaud.
There we go. Septon. Presumably there's got to be Orton coming. Or maybe he's just got another one in Shadows already, so he doesn't need to bother.
Yeah, maybe.
There's your favourite card. She's back.
Yeah, Darla. I mean, at least his hand looked pretty good. A rearward bow. Let me remind myself what that does. A defending attack is at -2 until the end of the challenge. Targ burn in wildlings. I mean, I still don't see how Elise is going to lose from this position, pending future plots, because I don't see how Steve's going to win a challenge. You know, if Elise just keeps her power icon stood at the moment, I can't really see how Steve gets through it.
It does seem unlikely. We know there's some informants and spies and things in hand. He's got the gold to at least ambush one. Oh, we got a nightmares. Okay.
Nightmares on Steve. So what's the one challenge from Elise? Military or power?
There you go, decision. Oh no. Oh, Steve's going first. I had it in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. This is interesting. Does put Elise in a bit of a... She must know he's got a bounty in hand.
Wouldn't you fully defend with the rogue wildling and Darla? But then that would still lose because Arbor Marketplace. So you're kind of forced to kneel Val if you want to defend it.
Yeah. Quite the decision.
And kneeling Val is not what you want to do, because if you could defend it with the other two, you could use Val to bring in another power icon and attack in power. No defense, unopposed. No bounties beheld, but there's no spies on the board. I mean, Steve could jump something in, but he's not going to be able to defend or attack in anything, so no point at this point.
Okay.
Right, at least going for power.
Going power first. Gonna go with all three. Jump someone in, presumably.
Thens. They cannot target this. Well, that's just going to be pillage at this point. No defense, no wall of roses in shadows. So I don't know if Orton Merriweather was the better play. Bring in Orton instead of just gaming Septon, recur wall of roses, put it in shadows, and then just completely negate the one challenge they do. I feel like for me that might have been a more effective play on this round.
Yeah. Well, Steve has something up his sleeve.
It could be game over, to be honest, Al.
Yeah.
Could be Lannister, 6 wins, and defeating Tyrell.
Orton's gone, Alla's gone. Okay.
So Steve's on Morgulis. Steve is running both
why he didn't play Orton. And that's the last copy of Mina, so not the worst. But given the time remaining on the clock and the power imbalance.
We see now why Steve wanted to get the Arbor down.
Yeah.
$6 gold. Yeah, I think this is game over, isn't it?
Yeah, really struggled to see a way for Steve to break through and gain enough power quickly enough.
Steve got no claim. Elise has got claim. Characters on the board. First snow of winter as well, so if Steve can't marshal any chuds.
Yeah, or he'd just be jumping things in. Orton would survive a first snow.
Well, as long as Val jumps in something on a power challenge, we don't think that's Wall of Roses in shadows. Ariane. Curious.
Now, there's a Steve card if ever I've seen.
Looks just like him. Demurely sat at his bedroom window.
Yeah.
Lost in thought. More weirwood bows. So at this point, if Val attacks, I don't know, weirwood bows. Oh, it doesn't have to be a participating attacker.
No.
That is just overpowered, man. What nonsense. Nonsense. Who designed these cards? God damn it. So I guess this is
an underrated and strong card that's actually just as effective as a threat as actually being used.
That is true. Just by existing on the board will affect your opponent's challenge math.
Yeah.
Well, do we congratulate Elise now, or
Looking pretty close.
commiseration, Steve? Oh, you're still going to do some stuff. I guess we can Ariane and do stuff.
Well, oh, spicy. Can pull them both into the defense. I mean, John will stand and get renowned. But
Yeah, you wouldn't pull John in because John's got renown. Okay, yeah. Smart way. That's actually a smart way for Steve to get through this round.
yeah,
Loses only Dom. Live to fight another round. I think Rogue Wildling is ambush 5, right?
yeah, but there could be a Last of the Giants potentially
That is true.
into something.
No Last of the Giants. 14-3.
So last plots. Wind Eye and Loan from the Iron Bank.
There might be life in the old dog yet. Did we write him off too soon?
You never know.
He's only got 11 minutes to do it, and he's quite far behind. Like, even if he does stage a comeback, he might not be able to get enough power.
Yeah, I tend to think even if things go 100% his direction, I don't know that there's enough time to claw back. that gap quickly enough.
Have you already played your game this week, Al?
No, I'm sitting out this week.
Are you sitting out?
Yeah. So we've got more players in our team than can realistically play every round. So every week, 2 people are sitting out.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and Barra, we don't have that luxury. We've got players that just didn't respond ever. So there's 10 of us,
Right.
and we all play.
Yeah, in that respect, we're quite lucky in Lannister. Everyone's pretty active.
In fact, I say there's 10 of us and we all play. One of us has just had a baby, so I don't even know if he's going to be able to play this week.
Right.
Right, Steve is marshalled imprisoned, attainted. So John is literally useless now. He's just a dom magnet.
Potato. Thankfully, Elise has 11 gold to come up with something else.
Power icons. That's all she needs. Defend power, win power.
Quite late in the day, but Tormund is a lovely card to see.
Yeah, storyteller trait.
I'm sure she would love to have another Nightmares. Otherwise, Marge is just going to harpoon people.
So Steve could do a power challenge, drag in Tormund or Val. It's 2 claims, so at least might defend it. And then could jump in a Leonard Informant and do another power challenge for 4. But Steve's doing an intrigue. So I guess he can do a power challenge, lose it, and then do another power challenge anyway. That's still on the cards. And the second power challenge can be Behold Our Bounty. What the hell is this?
Here we go. There's the last of the giants.
Mag the Mighty. Ouch.
Suppose use it rather than lose it.
Yeah. Shrewd. So basically, he just knelt Val, sacrificed his intrigue challenge and 3 gold to kneel Val. Turns out the card in Shadow was not a Wall of Roses, it was the Shrewd Diplomat, which we had seen earlier. But now Marge need to bring in Tormund, so Elise cannot do a power challenge. Oh yeah, we've got Desert Raider as well. God, I've forgotten about that card every round.
All the tricks. Will it be enough though?
Well, the Desert Raider can't afford to leave play, that's for sure.
So you've got to expect Behold is going to be played on either Orton or the Diplomat now.
I don't even know which one's going to be more valuable for next round. Probably, you'd think Orton would be good for a Wall of Roses just to stop the power challenges. The bounty
Okay.
beheld, it's 3 claim. Oh, Jackie's back.
Oh, is that double Behold? Double Behold for 4 claim.
That's impressive. Actually impressed. And there's no power challenge coming back. If Steve pulls this out, I'll be amazed, to be honest. He's got to be pretty pleased with himself. I bet he's sitting in his little room. He's shaking because he's so nervous now. He's on the verge of a comeback. He's got more cards in hand. He's got his economy set. He can control his opponent's power icons. He's got another Shrewd Diplomat back in his hand. He's got Orton back in his hand for the Wall of Roses. Maybe he could smell the victory.
It is very close.
Mind you, he got the thing back in hand, but he got 0 reserve.
Yeah. His hand's going to the bin, and I don't know that there's much... Unless he's... I don't know if he is running off for a peach, but this is going to be a board wipe. Thanks to Mag.
Yeah. So, military for 15. We've got a Nightmares on Mag, presumably.
Oh, okay. The tricks keep on coming.
As you would expect for someone who played Martel. So, unopposed, we're going to get 2 claim, probably. Because there's no point in using the free folk agenda on intrigue.
That's true. Desert Raiders play another power.
It's got to be Jackie and the Raider, probably. And then you can defend.
Yeah, does Mag kill himself? Since he's going to die at the end of the turn anyway.
Intimidate.
No, okay, so he stripped a dupe, did he, to pay for Mag?
I mean, this felt like it could have been an awesome comeback until free folk started doing their challenges.
Still doesn't quite get at least there, right? Unless she's got a power icon out of thin air.
I just don't see how Steve can equalise the board state. But the game froze, like nothing's happening. Maybe I've frozen. Owl? Well, I think Owl dropped off. But I think we're at the end of the game anyway. Nothing seemed to be happening. The timer is ticking down. Well, it looks like my internet's died. If you can hear this. Thanks for joining. If you can't, I have no idea what's going on. Maybe I should refresh. Let's reconnect.
Yeah.
Hello.
You just dropped out. Very surprised to see Tormund get marched.
Tormund got marched.
That had to have been a mistake. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, unfortunately I dropped out. My internet just stopped completely and everything died. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the video.
Still not looking good for Steve.
Well, this is the last round. Oh, Lisa's marshalled. Yeah, I'm not sure that can be surmounted. Nice fight though. I'm going to
A lot closer in the end than it looks like, that's for sure. Yeah, okay, looks like there's the concede, I assume, from Steve.
Wow. GG. Congratulations to Elise and Lannister. Commiseration to Steve and Tyrell. But to be fair, you know, Tyrell are probably one of the worst houses in the game. Shouldn't be a faction, etc. I'm sure you agree with me, Al. It looks like they're just going to play it out until Steve actually clicks concede.
Looks like. It's been interesting. Tyrell's not been performing nearly as well as I thought that they would.
I thought they'd just smash everything. I mean, they've got a great team. But, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, despite the format and the unorthodox decks and agendas and things that get thrown up, been watching lots of Miha's streams and things. It just hasn't seemed to be going well for Tyrell.
Well, Lannister seem to be doing really well. Gone are the days when Lannister are considered the weakest faction. Steamrolling everyone so far.
Not nearly doing as well as Targ or Stark, but yeah.
Stark lost to Baratheon, mate.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
we
unexpected.
Smashed them, mate. Crushed them. Left them crying in their beds. What can I say? Alright, game's over. Thank you for joining me out. It was good to have someone to chat to.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
And yeah, I guess I'll be back in a couple of hours to record the next game, which looks like it's going to be Martell versus Baratheon.
Oh, that should be spicy.
Yeah. Alright, thanks again, Al.
Have a good one.
Catch you later.
See ya.